Hey, do you realize what you just did? You click to see what you don't want to see. How is that? You want to see what you don't want to see? Oh, okay. What happens is that you are feeling the matrix. So maybe you don't want to see it, but at least you want to know about it. Hey, that's a good start.
If there is a serious job in our lives, is to change ourselves. And today we will talk about one of the biggest issues when we want to work to improve ourselves. And those are our resistance. My name is Zek, and this channel is Yoga and Perception. It's complementary knowledge for your practice. And this is the second season, Think Yoga out of the box. And we are talking about the 7 gates I found, to access to your non-conscious, to deconstruct the software of the culture where we grow, to deconstruct our own matrix. And one of these gates is resistance. So this is the third gate we talk about. We first talked about the 3D and the shame in the last 2 chapters. If you want to jump to the very beginning of this story, click here. Or if you want to know more about what are the 7 gates, click this one. Resistance is the big filter, is the breaking point, is where most people will go away now because probably they get bored or whatever. We are talking about the biggest challenge. This is the resistance are the breaking point. This is where you decide to stay or you leave. In our science fiction, in our movies, a ghost is an entity, I don't know if that's the right word in English, that it is not a material and it's translucent. You can see barely with your eyes. You can see them barely with your eyes. That's science fiction. But today I'm bringing you real ghosts in your life, in our lives, because I have those too. Resistance are things that are completely invisible, but not because your eyes are out of phase, but instead it's because there are things we cannot face. It's we when we are in front of them, we take a detour. We go, we run away without even think about them. The nature of the resistance is to protect something it's inside of you, and you don't want somebody to trespass. So when somebody get close to this, you jump to take this person out of the safety zone. So it's like the resistance. It's like a firewall, for your software, your unconscious software. Why you don't see your resistance is very personal. It's something only you can answer for yourselves. So it's good for us to pay attention. But even if you pay attention, they're really invisible. They're out of, it's completely impossible for you to go to your resistance. This is not, don't get me wrong, I am not talking about fears. Those you have and you can work with. Resistance instead, it's completely out of sight in our lives. I mean, when I talk about you, I'm talking about me too. I know these things because I live them. I am not a guru. I am not over all this. These are things I am working in my everyday. I work in them so much that to make this video, I was thinking an example to give you about my resistance, and it took me very long to get to acknowledge which are my resistance, because I have resistance to show you my resistance. Yeah.
I give you my resistance. I give you an example with my resistance.
And let me talk you about my resistance.
That's a hard, huh? Okay, let me give you an example about my resistance. Sometimes I waste money buying things that I don't really need. So in my personal life, it doesn't have a big impact. Well, it had when I was married, not now, not anymore. But in my business, I worked I work opening restaurants. This emotional thing that drives me to over invest in the projects I'm working in brought me many troubles. And when 15 years ago, I thought that the good investment, the heavy investment, it's a good thing to call money. When you invest, you receive in exchange. So this was my internal, but I couldn't see that this idea was driven by these emotions I have from my childhood to I'm a compulsive buyer. So this brought me a lot of trouble in my business because I didn't make the best investments. It brought me, fights with partners, tight economy. It made me face many circumstances, unpleasant, not good for my business. And it took me very long time to recognize this and to become a smarter investor. Resistance are in this third layer where you can't even imagine they are there. And it is a very good thing to start to acknowledge that you own these topics, these issues. Because when you recognize to yourself that you might have some resistance, you start to develop an observer, and you can recognize, because even we cannot see straight to our resistance. We can see them through the eyes of other people, because it's invisible for us, but some people around us can see our ghosts. So we can get in contact with this our resistance with a process like the echolocation. The dolphin and the bats use this the sound to bounce in around things around, and they receive information. Well, you perceive your resistance in this way. We can see the consequences of our actions in the world around us. And when this coincidence, for example, I don't know, you always date people who lie you, I don't know, and you always blame others, because of this, because everybody is a liar, but there, it's an example. You can maybe guess that the way you wish somebody has some inner pieces emotionally distorted from our childhood about love. I don't know. I'm making an example. So what can we do about them? But okay, we know I have resistance. What can I do? Well, to know about them, it's a very good starting point, because this turns you the observer, and then you can find them hiding behind some reactions, some the way we answer suddenly, which, for example, somebody is talking to us about a topic we don't want to, we want to avoid seriously. So our reaction can be to laugh about what the other people is saying, because it looks hilarious to us, or we get angry, we react in a bad mood, or we change topic, we change channel. We were talking about one thing, and suddenly I changed to another station. What's in common with all these examples is that you disconnect from where you were focused. You take a detour, you go away. So behind this, it's not that when you take a detour, you always have a resistance. No, it's not that when you laugh about something, that's a resistance. No, but it can be. So you will tell a long time. You will tell if you are avoiding some topics. When somebody else touch this nerve inside of us that it's very sensitive, and we react. So if the observer, to observe ourselves from outside, what can do is to install a gap, a time gap between the stimulus and the reaction, the response. So if we have a second to think about what the other person is telling you, you change from reaction to a response, and well, that's a good path. That's the way you start to change things. And don't think that because you acknowledge your resistance, it's done. I mean, there are many things that you cannot see and with the time you bring them to what you can see. But even you see them, you cannot change. You still cannot change them. So to acknowledge them is the first step, but to change something, that's the other half of the story. It depends the size of the trouble that you get into. Maybe to work with your resistance, you need a professional eye, somebody who is a professional, and this person look at you from outside and can maybe help you to change these patterns is in our behavior that lead us to fall in the same hole many times. I hope you enjoy this content, and if you do, please subscribe and like this video. That's a very good for me. And hope to see you again in next video. Bye.